Night Showing. As always, I'm Kelly, and I just got out of M. Night Shyamalan's The Visit. And wow! I mean, I, I'm just surprised as hell, okay? Do know that this movie was actually really, really good. Not just that, but surprisingly good. I mean, it's M. Night Shyamalan. The guy is a running joke for just all of the right reasons. I mean, after two amazing movies, a couple of okay ones, and then just going into hilariously bad with The Lady in the Water and Happening, and just insultingly bad with After Earth and The Last Airbender, we get a found footage horror film from this guy, and it's not only very well directed, very well written, and extremely well acted. Mind blown. This movie, I can't stress enough just how much of a breath of fresh air this is compared to a lot of the other horror films I've had to go see in recent memory. Admittedly, one of those films I had to go see, I have working on the review. I actually am editing it. But it's coming. Don't expect much. But, I mean, I flipped out over the gallows. I really did. That was insulting. To think that M. Night Shyamalan could take found footage, not only make it fresh and new, but believable excuses for why the people will be traveling around with cameras. And actually make it into an enjoyable movie with a really brilliant twist that even I didn't see coming. But at the same time, thinking back on the movie, the clues were all there. Just some of the more subtle actions that the characters go through, when you're thinking about the twist, you're like, oh my god, it was being hammered in my head the entire time. And I missed every single one of those things. So yeah, just so you know, I'm not really going to do a spoiler section on this one. Because, just like with The Gift, it'd be a disservice to spoil it, okay? So I'm just going to state it out like I feel. Okay, so what's the movie about? Well, two kids are going to go see their strange grandparents. Their grandparents have been in contact with the family until recently, and the mother sends the kids off to the grandparents. You might be getting Jurassic World vibes here, but trust me, it's actually a legitimate reason. The kids actually want this really, really bad. They have to spend a week at their grandparents' house, and the grandparents aren't in exactly the best mental health at the moment, and they start doing weird things, and things start happening. Tensions rise, and that's basically all I'm going to say about the plot, because, well, it's just, everything else about this movie just worked. Essentially, there's only really 5 actors and actresses inside this. You have the 2 kids and their mother, and then the grandparents. You get a couple of other characters here and there, but they get maybe 3 lines before they're forgotten about. So, yeah, essentially there's only 5 people inside this movie. And each one of them performed brilliantly. First up, we have the oldest daughter, who is a aspiring videographer, documenters to be precise, and that's the reason why they always have these cameras and you get the found footage. She records everything, and she's trying to make this trip into a documentary that she can give to her mother later on for reasons that I probably am not going to talk about, but because it actually kind of leads into the spoiler territory. But yeah, she's filming everything. She's got 2 cameras, which are really, really nice. Just FYI, for a family that's supposedly struggling. They mentioned that the mother works at Walmart, but yeah, you're not selling those types of cameras at Walmart. But yeah, she's got the 2 cameras, and she's always filming things with her brother. And honestly, I think that she might have been playing a parody of M. Night himself, because a lot of her dialogue comes off as really pretentious, and being that she's like, I think that it was ended up being like 15 inside this movie, 14 or 15. She looks like she's 18, and she also looks like she's a young Kirsten Dunst. But beside the point, she she's always talking about how she wants the swing to move organically. Don't touch it. Don't touch it. Make your reactions more real. Just relax, calm down, that kind of thing. It feels like someone who was legitimately trying to make these movies. And just as a side note, the only time we actually ever hear music in the background of this film is when she's editing the videos on her computer. Everything else is just the sounds around the entire place. Every creak in the floorboards, every single time something is banged against the wall, it's actually there. Which, again, it's just a breath of fresh air for found footage movies, but I'll talk about that in a second. But yeah, so she's always filming everything, and her delivery is just so perfect. And when she gets the emotional moments near the end, like day 3 or 4, kind of has a similar setup to Ex Machina, where each day is clearly outlined. Once you get down to the later parts of the week, she gets some emotional moments, and by God, it's just great. I mean, this is like watching Athena from freaking Tomorrowland acting all over again. This is a teenage child actress? What? Okay, she's probably closer to about 20. I'm not gonna lie, she looks way too old for the role. But it was just perfect all around. It really was. Next up, we have the little brother. And he might be the problem. The most thing I'm going to nitpick and kind of pick apart is just saying it wasn't as good. He is a germaphobe, former sports athlete turned YouTube rapper. Insert your own Epic Lloyd joke here. But, yeah, the rapping kind of got annoying. Sometimes it was funny, other times it's just, shut up, kid. And he's acted brilliantly, just like his older sister inside of this film. He actually looked his age, and they actually stated that he was about 13 years old. And when he's playing terrified, he's freaking terrified. When he's suspicious, he is suspicious. And by God, I think, what was that moment inside of there? The moment that I just knew that this kid was going to be great in the film was when when the weird shit starts happening around day 1 and day 2, he doesn't just ignore it. He doesn't try to write it off. He thinks something's going on, he tries to find out what the hell is going on. The entire time. He's suspicious. He's not just going along with it. And it's really, really nice and refreshing to see a kid character in a horror film that isn't instantly attracted to whatever is scary or ghosts, and they're all friendly. Ooh. Yeah, I'm kind of poking fun at Poltergeist. I know you come out in 2 weeks, so shut up. But he was fun. His acting was brilliant. His singing and rapping, they weren't for me. They just weren't. As I said, they occasionally got a laugh out of me, but most of the time it just came off as annoying. Next we have their mother, who admittedly has the least amount of screen time amongst all of them. Mostly reserved to Skype video calls, which, hey, guess what? We had a Skype video call that was not in 4K HD this time. It actually is in a lower quality video to make it seem a little bit more real. Just saying. She's fine. I think that she might have gotten a little annoying because she always seemed a little too smiley for the kids. But when you consider everything that's going on in the film, especially the psychological aspects of her character, trying to reconnect with her estranged grandparents and whatnot, it's understandable. It just was kind of annoying. And then we get to the grandparents themselves, who have so many different problems. both suffering from different forms of dementia and trying to just make it through this week with the kids, and they are acted just as brilliantly as anything else in this film, and even better written than probably was even delivered, and the acting was pretty superb. The writing on it is everything they do had a point and purpose. Everything that they said, everything that was touched or done by the characters in the film actually comes back later when things start kicking off and you start putting pieces together. There is something overarchingly wrong here, and it's not just the dementia. There's more to this story. Traveling all the way back in the past and all the way in the future. And the grandmother especially was probably the best of all of them, because she had the worst condition as far as the dementia goes, and she actually had to play several different types of schizophrenic throughout the whole film. It was really, really, really good, and admittedly very unnerving. And honestly, I keep praising it as a horror film, but you can't go into this movie thinking that it's a pure horror film. It's a comedy horror. You know, probably not along the lines of, say, Shaun of the Dead, but it still deserves a spot inside of that kind of genre. This movie, most of the time, is pretty spot on hilarious. And the humor, the jokes, actually help build to when they start doing creepy things later on. It actually adds to the film. The jump scares, what few they were actual legitimate jump scares that kind of got you because, well, it fit the tone. It wasn't just a loud, obnoxious bang with an orchestra sting with someone jumping in front of the camera with their hoodie on. Yeah, I'm still pretty fucking pissed off by the gallows. We'll get off that subject. So, when they actually did inside this film, they legitimately... Now, there were some problems with the ending. I'm not going to act like it was a perfect hit. It's not the Sixth Sense quality writing here, but it's definitely up there with Unbreakable. It really is. It was brilliant, but the problems, when looking at the ending in retrospective with some of the things that happen in there, there's several scenes that don't necessarily mesh with the rest of the film, and I'm pretty sure we're only left in there for trailer fodder. The one scene in particular where the grandpa is cleaning his gun, you've seen it in the trailer if you've seen the trailer. That scene, when thought in retrospective with the ending and the twist, it just doesn't work out. I'm not going to explain why, and I don't want to do a spoiler section on this one because, frankly, you need to go to see this film yourself and decide what you think of it. Don't just take my opinion. So, yeah. Final verdict for me, because there's nothing else I could really say. The actual atmosphere, the closed-off building that they had to film in, this shoot has very few scenes in rooms. They literally took a 2-story house with maybe 3-4 bedrooms, and they stuck the filming only inside of there, and maybe occasionally on the grounds around it. But the cinematography still looks amazing, as there's definitely a lot of different angles, different sections of the house they go into. It's just perfect. There's so much comedy that'll keep you enjoyed, and the horror aspects of it will actually keep you scared and enthralled. So yeah, final verdict, go see this in theaters. You can take it by the ring and everything, because this will put your faith back in M. Night Shyamalan. I've said for years that he can make good films, but he hasn't. Now he has. And when you actually hear the story behind the film, the making of the film, it's kind of amazing. M. Night Shyamalan paid for this movie out of pocket, basically. It ended up costing about $200,000 to film this entire thing and edit it. He got it all done, then he took the finished product and tried to sell it to Studio Blumhouse. and he wasn't even sure if they were gonna take it, if they were gonna make the money at all. So, to his amazement, they bought it. They got a few other studios involved, and they got it a big widespread theatrical release. Thank you, Studio Blumhouse. Thank you, because as far as horror films go, this is probably up there with the top 5 that have come out this year. Maybe even top 3. I mean, It Follows. I'm kidding. I know all the other horror films that have come out this year. It's just, yeah, it's probably up there. But then again, we've also had a lot of crap horror films, because that's not necessarily saying too much. I've already mentioned Gallows, but Sinister, Insidious, the list goes on and on. This film should be viewed as a testament to what a great director can do when he limits himself and forces himself to be creative. That's what happened with his movie, and it was amazing. So yeah, that's it for me. Did you enjoy the video? Have you seen The Visit? Tell me what you thought about it in the comments below, and maybe we'll get some healthy discussion going. Yeah, if you want to see more of my videos, be sure to check out the playlists and the subscribe buttons up here. I'll have some more of my more recent videos that I published down here. If you want to check me out on Facebook, it's at Facebook.com/Kelly Young. It's a free page. I'll get everything uploaded there as soon as it's done. If you want to follow me on Twitch, I just started a Twitch account. The twitch.tv/cardmaster9. I'll have both of those links to those in the description below. And yeah, I guess I will see you all next time.